The Flash returns to say so long and good night. Well, at least that was the title of the episode. And demonstrating once again, there's just too many episodes in the seasons of these CW shows. And I'm sure that's only one of the problems for the others. I tried to binge Batwoman, and how far did I get? Episode 12, maybe? Yeah, The Flash is the only one that I can tolerate. And then sometimes, like I've said, it's actually pretty damn good. This one wasn't a bad episode. It's just, a more display of the same problems. It's mostly filler, and of course things drag on because they've got to make up the number for the episodes, and of course runs into the problems with special effects. They can only use it here and there. And now there's yet another story of superhero loses his powers. Well, that's pretty common. I mean, even in the comic books and stuff. But this continues to cause a problem because the whole investigation into Black Hole, the whole hole, continues, and Joe's in trouble. Now he's targeted by the evil CEO. There's always an evil CEO. And he's targeted for death and hires the killer. And the killer, well, it's Ragdoll. Yes, that's right. Meanwhile, investigations into the lady that had light powers. Was she actually called Dr. Light? Did I miss that? Because they mentioned Dr. Light, and I guess she's the Dr. Light of the CW universe, Well, considering how they did Dr. Light in the Titan series, I guess I'll just have to take it, because that was pretty bad. So anyway, of course, Barry's got his problems with his speed, so he's got to be very careful not to run out of it. But then he can't protect Joe, and several attempts are made on Joe's life and all this, the typical taking the brakes out and all that stuff. Ragdoll is able to just squeeze into anything, and, I guess he didn't blow up. It insinuated that he was still in the vehicle somewhere in the workings of it. But Joe, going at 120 miles per hour, decides at the last minute to leap out of his car, and then he just gets up and watches it explode when it crashes into a wall. I think he'd be in a lot of bad shape at that speed. but he survives, and so Ragdoll eventually comes after his girlfriend. I guess they still haven't gotten married. And that is just Joe. Come on now. So and then she eventually gets kidnapped. Allegra is utterly useless. She's only there to mope and cry and badly act out the emotionally manipulative scenes between her and Nash. And that's, you lied to me and that kind of stuff. And her powers are useless as Ragdoll. Ragdoll is able to take her out. I would have thought she'd be more powerful than him, but oh well. And he captures Cicely. That's her name, isn't it? Man, see, I can't even remember her name. It's but anyway, so Joe has to come rescue her. Well, she's trapped to a booby trap of bombs. If she gets off the chair, it goes off, and all this sort of stuff. Meanwhile, the Flash battles Ragdoll, and his speed's running out, so it's not going very well for him. And then Ragdoll starts playing a game of whack-a-mole with him. Because he's hiding in these pipes and stuff. And reveals that he's not really even interested in whatever the black hole guy is paying him for. He just wants people to suffer because he's suffering because his mother's dead or something like that. It doesn't matter. And Barry eventually gets the better of him and handcuffs him with the power negating handcuffs thing, and races back. And oh no, Joe's trapped. So Joe calls Nash, and Nash says, he knows how to disarm these bombs. And he says, just find the green wire and pull that one. Uh-oh, they're all green. So at the last minute, as the Flash saves Joe's girlfriend, Joe is sitting there. He managed to swap out with her, and he's sitting on the chair now, and he decides to just take a guess and pull the wire. Turns out it was the right one. So now Joe's got to go into witness protection program, and so now he's written out of the show for the foreseeable future until Barry can figure out how to bring down Black Hole. Meanwhile, Black Hole's wife is trapped in the Mirrorverse, and she's going to be, I guess, the Mirror Mistress, the female version of Mirror Master. And she's stuck in the mirror world with Iris, but Iris just, I don't know, keeps going to the bathroom or something and never notices that she's actually crazy and manipulating everything and is in some sort of war with her husband. They seem to be jealous of each other as to who was the more talented for the company and whatnot. Or something, I don't know. And he's well aware that she's trapped in that mirror and doesn't care. So he's going to move on with his evil, maniacal plans. And that's about it. So the other story is, once again, Ralph Dibny and Sue meet up again doing her Catwoman deal. And turns out falling in love was never part of the plan. And now she feels something for Ralph. I don't know. She's up to her, Catwoman shenanigans, but then they have their little get-together and stuff. And Cisco's there just to be Cisco, and that's about it. Not much happens there. And they only had enough money to show Ralph stretch his arm once, and it was for nothing. It seems her cat burglar stuff is faster than his superpowers. So, yeah, it just wasn't that good of an episode. The ultimate outcome of it and the Mirrorverse and all that sort of stuff, well, that should be interesting, I suppose. It could be, but at this point, it's dragged on so long. By the time they actually get to it, not really going to care. It's kind of like you could just watch every other episode. Now, of course, with the outbreak, I don't know how they're going to, and they may not be able to end the season as they intended in one episode. Will just end, it'll just be a cliffhanger type thing unintentionally. And they'll have to figure out what they're going to do for the next season when they can get back to shooting, which I don't know when that'll be. So that could be a bit of a problem. That's not really their fault, but, well, it is the circumstances. And again, it just speaks to, you don't have the, and this is true of a lot of shows, you don't have the material for the amount you're trying to do. And especially when you have one idea and you try to stretch it out over several episodes, and then you just throw in repetitive, goofy nonsense as filler. And that's what it is, and it's blatantly obvious. And it just drags the show down. And it's sad. It's sad because it's a good cast. It is. So there you go. And so long and good night. Thank you for watching and listening. Say, why not like and subscribe and check out that link description below. That'll take you to my mini stores that have plenty of goodies for you. Hats, mugs, stickers, posters, all that goody stuff. And of course, you can get a copy of my comic book Night Night over at IndiePlanet.com. You can also catch my podcast, Mr Nailsin Show, on RadioMisfits.com. And of course, you can also watch my videos over at BitChute.